The Cincinnati Bengals are now 0-2 after dropping a game to the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. But as they say, winning cures everything. So let's talk about it. What it do is the 513 with your boy J.E. on the Wincinnati podcast. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. I know the weekend was tough after seeing the Cincinnati Bengals drop that game to the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. And I got to be honest, right? Right now, when you're looking at this team and you're looking at, what happened and the Bengals losing to Dallas, I am in shock, right? I'm in shock. I can't believe we're at this situation. I really can't believe that the Bengals right now are sitting at 0-2 when you're talking about a team, when you looked at the beginning of the season, that these are I wouldn't say two games. With Cooper Rush going out, you thought the Bengals had to get a win here. But when you look at the Steelers game, you say, hey, look, that's a game the Bengals should win, right? Joe Burrow, he was a lot more careful with the ball. He didn't have any turnovers. He had 199 yards and a touchdown. Joe Mixon had 19 carries for 57 yards. As we all know, the famous Chris Evans didn't have any targets. T. Higgins led the way at receiving with 6 catches for 51 yards. And Jamar Chase had 5 catches for 54 yards. And then you got Joe Mixon with 3, Hayden Hurst with 5 targets, Tyler Boyd with 2. And then again, Chris Evans not making it on the stat sheet. But then when you look at this, the game, you look at the overall stats from both teams. Bengals put out a total yards of 254 yards. Dallas Cowboys put out 337 yards. The Bengals had 165 passing yards. Dallas had 230 yards. The Bengals had 89 rushing yards. Dallas had 107 yards. Bengals averaged 3.8 yards per play. The Cowboys averaged 5.7 yards per play, right? Both teams had 19 first downs. Bengals were 6-17 on third down, which was better than the Cowboys. We were 1 for 1 on fourth down. Both teams were 1 for 1 on fourth down. And the Bengals ended up running 67 plays. So they ran a few more plays than the Dallas Cowboys, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. And it's very shocking to see this team as such a talented team, probably one of the most talented rosters that we've seen from a skill position for the Cincinnati Bengals to be sitting here at 0-2 at this current state. And I hate to repeat myself, but my mind is blown. And I've watched the game 2 to 3 times. So I kind of got an idea of what went wrong. But in a nutshell, right, in a quick capsule to kind of give it to you as quick as I can, right? Micah Parsons, right? Going into the game, we knew that Micah Parsons is a top 5 edge rusher in the game, maybe top 3. Micah Parsons is an incredible athlete, incredible pass rusher. Some people have made some great comparisons to Micah Parsons, maybe too good of comparisons as far as comparing him to legends. But nonetheless, Micah Parsons is extremely talented, man. And one thing going into this game, I said the Bengals cannot let him wreck the game. I feel like they refused to double team him. They refused to chip him, even though they did have a couple chips in there. It just seemed like they did not prioritize blocking him enough with, more than one person. They left Lyle Collins on an island. I know you bring the big guy in for, pay him good money as a tackle and hope that it can work out because you paid the guy. But nonetheless, look, sometimes people need help, right? Maybe give him a chip every single time he's got Micah Parsons on the side. Maybe every time Micah Parsons moves to another side, slide the protection to that way. But nonetheless, Micah Parsons did damage. And Micah Parsons was a big factor in this game, making plays left and right. He had 2 sacks, I believe. But outside of having the 2 sacks, when they ran the ball away from him, we talked about this in Spaces. I think Zim kind of brought it up a lot. When they ran the outside zone the opposite away from Micah Parsons was chasing it down the backside, making tackles. He was all over the field, man. I felt like they let Micah Parsons impact that game too much, in my opinion. Cooper Rush, right? The backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, a quarterback to which I thought the Bengals really should have put, some pressure on him, made life difficult for him. And it wasn't like he had some phenomenal game and he went out guns a-blazing. The team put up 2 touchdowns, whatever the case may be, and they got the win, right? I mean, I think they put up 2 touchdowns. They had 2 field goals and the one in overtime to win the game. So it wasn't a masterful performance from Cooper Rush, but he did enough to help his team win. And in critical moments in overtime, he made a couple throws which were heartbreaking. Even though the Bengals had their opportunity to go win the game, it wasn't overtime, I'm sorry. Even though the Bengals had their opportunity to win the game late, he made plays in critical moments at the end of the game to go put his team in position to kick the field goal. I said overtime because the whole time I'm watching this game, I'm saying this game's going to overtime. And that's what I'm thinking this whole time, and that's why I mentioned the overtime thing there. But Cooper Rush did just enough for his team to win. Hats off to him and how he played in place of Dak Prescott. I feel like the Bengals let him off the hook once again. Although the defense was really good, I felt like there were some opportunities where Cooper Rush gave us the opportunity to make a play on the ball, and we didn't come up with the interception. I think we had definitely 2 opportunities to get interception. One of the interceptions from Mike Hilton would have been an amazing play, so I don't expect him to make that one. But you got to hope, this team can get into a groove and make those plays when they present themselves, because those are game-winning plays. Von Bell forced a fumble, which was huge at that point in the game, absolutely huge. It actually got the Bengals back in the game, and I think it kind of shifted momentum. Another turnover, man, and it absolutely – in my opinion, is a winning play, and it puts the Bengals in position to win. Trayvon Diggs, I thought he did good, but I also don't think he was tested, right? I don't feel like the Bengals' offensive play calling was on point. I don't feel like it was a situation to where Trayvon Diggs was tested and he answered the call. I almost feel like he wasn't tested at all. I just feel like we weren't in a rhythm. We didn't take deep shots. Oh, I know we didn't take deep shots. And there was much to be desired out there for the offensive play calling. But nonetheless, when the moments came up big and it was 3rd and 4, I think, and, the game's nearing the end and the Bengals have the ball with 1 minute and 9 seconds left on the clock, they throw an out route to Tyler Boyd, and lo and behold, Trayvon Diggs comes up and makes the play. A textbook tackle. And it's almost too easy of a play for him to make, in my opinion. I know I watched the Zach Taylor press conference, and he said that they had a mesh route. They were hoping that it would dig up with the mesh route. But when I look back at the play, I didn't see really anywhere that it would have caught him up or would have slowed him down from making that out route play. I just felt like it was a play where he saw the out route from miles away, and he was able to come up and make the tackle. So Trayvon Diggs played well, for the situation and the game plan that he was faced with. Again, I don't think the Bengals tested him. I think I don't want to say the too high safety look is really giving them crazy issues or stifling this offense, but it has 100% slowed it down. And you talk about a team that is supposed to have one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL right now. They have, in my opinion, one of the most talented receiver rooms, if not the talented receiver room trio in the NFL. And then you add Joe Mixon onto that, and we see what Hayden Hurst can be. This is a talented team, right? This is a super talented team. This is a team that should not struggle to score touchdowns in the first half of a game. This is a team that should not struggle to run the ball. This is a team that should be very creative and manufacture a lot of easy pass completions for Joe Burrow, but also manufacture opportunities for your key players, right? If a guy is playing 8 to 10 yards off of Jamar Chase because they're afraid of getting beat deep, throw him the ball out in space. If the guy's playing 10 yards off of T. Higgins, throw him the ball out in space. Let him get 5 yards, 5 to 4 yards. Make them respect everything. And someone mentioned this earlier, and they were saying, hey, we're letting them dictate to us what to do versus us saying, no, you got to stop us. And this is what we're going to do. You have to respect it. And you better not sit in cover two, because if you do, we're going to crush you. Right. So, and they played more than cover two yesterday, but they played a lot of 2 high safety looks. Although they did start at the, single high safety, making it look like they were running cover 3. 8 times out of 10, they were rolling to 2 high safety. And I think the Bengals are going to get that look from everybody. Until they can beat it, right, they're going to get that look from every single team across the NFL. Defenses are going to crowd the line, try to make the offensive line confused. And they're going to stack the line, confuse the offensive line, try to create free rushers, run cover 2 or 2 high safety looks, and hope to stifle the defense like everybody else has been doing. The NFL is a copycat league, right? If one team does it and give you 2 high looks and stacks the line and creates free rushers, every single team is going to do it until you can beat it. If you don't beat it, why would I switch it up? Why would I change it, right? Go look at the Steelers game. Go look at the game that we just played yesterday against the Dallas Cowboys, and look at some of the looks that the Cowboys gave us. It is a copycat league. They don't have Micah Fitzpatrick, right? So they're not, they don't have that type of safety out there. But nonetheless, I mean, we saw very similar looks. And every team from here on out is going to play 2 high safety in the Bengals. I don't think, until we beat it, we're going to get any other looks. And that's okay, because if this is the only thing holding this offense back from being explosive, I'd rather them get it out the way now, figure out how to beat it, figure out how to get this offensive line together. Because when you look at the game, right, the defense, to me, I feel like the defense it's nothing that you really need to worry about. You don't have to talk about it. Yes, I want to see Dax Hill get some snaps. Yes, I want to see CTB make it back and make some more plays. Yes, I want to see Zachary Carter get in the game. Yes, I want to see Joseph Osai and Jeffrey Gunter get in there and make plays. But reality, the defense has done enough to win games. They have, right? When you look at why this team is sitting at 0-2 today, why they're sitting at 0-2 today at this moment, I'm talking about this on this podcast on Monday at 6:34 p.m. And I know I'm a little bit late, because the offensive line has had mental error after mental error after mental error and communication issues. And I know when I look at this offensive line, you see the guard play. The guard play, to me, I feel like has improved. It's gotten a little better. I feel like Ted Karras has been solid. What a steal. What a steal when you're talking about picking up a guy who is a phenomenal leader and just playing great from the center position. He's been a steal. But when you look at the tackles, man, Jonah Williams, he's been struggling every game. He's been struggling. Lyle Collins, to be fair, Lyle has faced TJ Watt and then Micah Parsons. So he's not drawing any easy matchups. He's playing 2 of the best pass rushers in the league back-to-back weeks. So you hope that playing these 2 elite pass rushers helps him in the future, helps him in the next coming games as he goes along and he's ready to play and make some plays and things like that. And also he can play at an elevated level, because, hey, I've seen the best. And now this ain't nothing compared to what I faced 2 weeks ago, right, or the last 2 weeks. So the offensive line, though, hasn't been good. They've had, like I said, error after error. You've seen situations in the game last week, this week, to where Micah Parsons, the best pass rusher on the field, on the NFL field that day between the Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys, have a free rush at Joe Burrow, man. I'm not mad if guys get beat. Guys are going to lose every now and then to great players, but when you let a guy like Micah Parsons come scot-free off the edge at your quarterback, right, or you block a defensive end with a tight end on a 3rd down play, I just don't understand what you're hoping to accomplish. I don't understand, when you're talking, hey, look, guys, let's identify these guys, let's get them blocked up. How an offensive lineman maybe he's supposed to help a tight end on the block, but he's blocking down, running into his own guy, or a tackle that has the best pass rusher in football is blocking down versus blocking out on the best pass rusher in football. It's mental errors, and I don't think it has anything to do with ability. It's just the mental awareness. And I saw Brian Callahan mention that this team or the offensive line hasn't had many reps together, and you hope that that really is the case, even though it sucks to hear that. And you say, come on, man, we don't want to hear that right now, right? But if it is, in fact, true, and this team just the offensive line just needs more reps together, let's get them as many reps as possible, right? And let's go ahead and get this offensive line turned around. Let's get the mental errors cleaned up. It's only 0-2. We're not 0-16 right now. The season's not over. We're not talking about who we're drafting. It's 0-2. You got the Jets that you're going to New York to play. Then you got the Dolphins coming to town who look really good. And then you got the Ravens in Baltimore. Think Monday Night Football at the bank. So if you think about it, yes, this is, in my opinion, a worst case scenario when you talk about a start, but this is a Bengals team, in my opinion, that plays well when their back's against the wall, right? They have to work on the run game. The run game has been much to be desired, right? I don't know if it's a scheme thing. I love Joe Mixon, so I think Joe Mixon's a super talented back, but they have to put Joe in position to succeed. I think they need to have some lead blockers in their form. They need to run some powers, run some counters. Let's get creative with this run game. Let's get Joe Mixon let's get him involved. Let's do maybe a jet sweep with Joe Mixon. I don't know. Hell, let's try anything. Let's get the run game cleaned up. And like I mentioned earlier, right? Get the playmakers involved. I don't care if you're at the line, you're in empty, the defensive back is 5 to 10 yards. If 10 yards off of your receiver, probably 7 to 10 is probably more realistic. Throw the ball out there to Jamar Chase. The first guy typically can't tackle him. Let him get 5 to 6. Stay ahead of the sticks. We can't have situations, and I think a lot of what this offense has struggled from is first down, no gain, or 1 yard loss or 2 yard loss. Second down, 1 to 2 yard gain. Third down, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, 3rd and long, right? We need to put ourselves in situations to where we're in 3rd and short the majority of the time and allow the offense to cook and play play in low pressure situations. This team has done really well when the pressure's high. Of course, we haven't gotten the wins the last 2 weeks, but when you want to look at when you want to look at both games, you want to say, well, what are the positives to pull from these last 2 games? Two positives, and I'll leave you all with this, right? I'll leave you with this. 2 positives. 1, this team probably is getting a wake-up call. And when people say, hey, you got a target on your back, you're going to get everybody's best shot. I think I took that for granted. I don't think I really knew exactly what people were saying. I know Damian Woody said it when he was in the space. And the facts is, Bengals got a target on their back. And we're getting everybody's best shot, man. And this isn't a time to cry. This isn't the time to say, oh, woe is me. It's a time to really pull yourself up by your britches. Let's get creative in the playroom. Let's learn how to destroy cover 2, the high 2 shell. Let's understand how to make the defense defend us and not let them dictate what we need to do, right? That's the positive. Wake-up call. Second positive. Second positive is that if cover 2 is the last thing keeping this team, or 2 high shells the last thing keeping this team from being super explosive, bring it on. Let's figure it out, and let's go light the world on fire, right? Figure out the 2 high shell, figure out what's giving us issues. Let's go light the world on fire. This team has played very well with their backs against the wall. This team last season had their backs against the wall, and they went all the way to the Super Bowl. And I know some of my tweets may be inflammatory, or maybe some of the things I say may not be, everyone doesn't like it, but the truth of the matter is this team, this roster, has no business being 0-2. They're extremely talented. They have the guy at quarterback. They have all the weapons you need. They invested in the offensive line. They just got to tighten up. They got to tighten up. And at the end of the day, Winning cures everything. If the Bengals win, we don't even have this conversation. Everything will be cleaned up. It will be puppy dogs and ice creams. We'll come in Monday, Victory Monday, enjoy the day, enjoy the week, and then talk about how we're going to go beat our next opponent. So, Houday, I appreciate you all tuning in. Keep your head up. Good days are coming. And I'll catch you all next week.